Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the Outerhaven YouTube. Sort of a bit of a weird presentation today. This is actually going to be a bit of a cleansing for me. Anybody who listens to spectator mode will know that I have been playing World of Warcraft Shadowlands since launch. I bought a few months worth of game time, and pretty much I haven't been enjoying myself. It's just been a bit of a wash, a bit of a don't want to be here type thing. And frankly, that's pretty much where I sit with the whole thing at this point in time, is I really don't want to be a part of the World of Warcraft community anymore. And it's sad, personally. You know, I've spent many years, probably about 8 years, if that, playing this game, and I feel like I, as a gamer, have moved on from playing this particular game, and I think the game has moved on from me. It's no longer the game that I love and cherished so many years ago, and I felt compelled to play it as a gamer. Now I feel it's almost a job. So, what I'm going to be doing here in this little, recording, is I'm going to go through a couple of raids. I'm going to go through the Black Temple with my Demon Hunter for one final chance at trying to get those legendary Wargraves, and I'm going to go with probably one of my main characters, either my Paladin or my Hunter, into what was probably my most favourite raid, which was Icecrown Citadel. And then, once I have finished those, I'm gonna uninstall the game, uninstall the Battle.net launcher, and that'll be the end of the video. So, at this point, not really much else left to do except get into it. So, as you can see, this is my desktop here with all of my lovely amounts of junk, as you can see. Yep, I am a fan of Black Cat, so sue me. We have the current Battle.net launcher. As you can see, my game time says 3 days in the corner here, and game subscription expires on March 15th, 2021 at 1:05 PM. And it's telling me to click to add game time. There is no way known that's going to happen. Now, from this point on, I don't know what the sound levels are going to be like. I don't know whether you're going to hear me properly or you're going to overhear the game, so I'm going to adjust on the fly. So here we go, one last foray. Probably got the game down a lot lower than I probably should. But you know what YouTube's like when it comes to these type of stupid little things, and what they do when it comes to game music in the game. They don't like hearing it. I really don't care. If we get copyright striked, fine, they can take the music out. I don't care. So, just loading up. Okay, so this is my little Demon Hunter here. Fashal. So I go and see. Oh, look. Oh, what a pity the Outer Storms didn't do, but the Netherweave stuff, cloth, yay! I'm actually the only one here in my guild at this point in time because, frankly, my guild fell apart months ago. There was a few people in the guild who decided that they were going to have their own little club of people that they were going to help out. Majority of the guild wasn't a part of that group, so they decided that they were going to do things their way. Frankly, those people have now split off to other guilds, and because they want to progress in raiding, and decided that the group dynamic or the guild dynamic that we had was not working for them. And frankly, myself, as well as quite a few other people in the guild, including the guild master, just said, alright, bugger off, don't need you here. You know, go do what you like. We frankly don't give a damn, and pretty much the guild just fell apart from there. which is a bit of a shame because it was a good guild for the time. I can even see here, I'm looking at like people who are sort of higher ups have all been leaving the guild, and I am seeing a lot of people here who have just basically said no. Seeing some names. A lot of people here just no longer a part of the guild, and they're left, they're gone. See, it looks like going over there have been other people, but nobody really, well, I guess it's pretty much dead at this point. So most of the people barely bother logging on one day a week. It's over. It's a shame when a guild dies like that, but that's been the big thing with Shadowlands. It has been the guild killer because a lot of people aren't enjoying the expansion, aren't enjoying their time with the game anymore, and have decided to just move on. A lot of people are now out playing other games, trying something different. Just getting different experiences from this. Me, I did the Shadowlands leveling experience both ways. I did it via the standard story progression, which I felt was very linear but very off-putting. And I also did the Threads of Fate, which was the alternate version where you level up through dungeon runs and doing specific what they call it, sort of grind mechanics, where you go into an area, kill X amount of this thing, fill up a bar, and then you'll get levels and stuff like that. I found that extremely tedious. I found that extremely boring, and frankly, I miss the fact that it's like World of Warcraft was this thing where you had you had some options in where you went and how you progressed in story and how you progressed in the leveling system, but with Shadowlands they took it all away. You were basically going to the Maw, starting things out that way, then you go to Bastion, and then you go to, I think it was Maldraxxus, and then you go to Ardenweald, and then finally to Revendreth, where, frankly, the game just lagged, got boring, and that was your story progression. You had 4 areas. Yeah, we're getting a fifth one in 9.1, but it's an extension of the Maw, the place that nobody wants to go. And that was the whole thing. Nobody wants to go to the Maw. Nobody wants to go and do that type of content because it's boring. It's a desolate land. It's even worse than having to come out into these areas. You know, the whole Outworld experience in Burning Crusade wasn't exactly filled with exciting looking content, but at least it had reason and progression. But no, not this time. Not anymore. So basically, all I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be killing everything, because I am well too overpowered for this place. I barely use like 3 spells in here. It's ridiculous.
I need a target.
Well, have a target. There you go. Bang bang. Dead. And I'm pretty much just going to pick up everything. I'll get a couple of chances to offload all my junk at some point. There's not really much to be said about the Black Temple. You know, it's the place where we first met Illidan. It was the whole "you are not prepared" and all that junk. So see, half the time I don't even have to touch these guys to kill them. This was one of the big raids of the Burning Crusade. It was actually quite a fun expansion. Looking back on it, like we're about to at this time go back to Burning Crusade as an expansion in what was it called? World of Warcraft Classic. Turtles that shoot things is different. And that's the first boss down. Yeah, World of Warcraft Classic is getting ready to start doing Burning Crusade again, which is going to be interesting to see how people react to those type of mechanics and everything else again. Because that was the expansion that I really got into playing World of Warcraft sort of more heavily than I should have back in the day. I would spend a lot more time just sitting around at home on the computer playing this. And it was how I learnt about, you know, latency and lag and network structures, all that type of stuff. Just gonna sell everything because I'm not gonna use any of this trash. But yeah, it was the first time I really actually cared about what I did in this game as well, because it was just that type of game to me. It was the fun that I needed, because I wasn't really a person who spent a lot of time around others. I was that stereotypical nerd that would just sit at home and play World of Warcraft. I was the thing that had no life. And playing this game gave me that sense of community, that sense of belonging that I actually wanted from a video game, or at least a community-wise. You know, I joined one of my first guilds with this expansion, and while I didn't get to actually raid Black Temple proper, yeah. We did do some Black Temple stuff, but it wasn't as proficient as it was sort of back then. Like, I think it was we were very, like, by the time I started getting to that raising phase of World of Warcraft, I was very much behind the 8 ball. Very, very much behind it. I would be spending more time actually in PvP at the time than I was actually raiding, because again, surprisingly enough, for those of you who know me through my endeavours on the Outerhaven, is I don't actually sort of work within the context of I play and be social as much as it looks like I was. Believe it or not, I was actually a very non-social creature back in those days. I was very much a non-social person. I didn't like the idea of being in chat groups. I didn't like the idea of having to really sit there and communicate with other people. That wasn't my thing. You know, I'd rather just sit in the sidelines and do next to nothing, which is pretty much what I've been doing the entire time I've played these games. Is I try not to get very socially involved. Because even in games like this, being socially involved with content, even back then, was one of those things, it really just did not work. But of course, since then I've sort of come more out of my shell and learnt more about how to work within a group and how to be one of those social style people, to the point where I now am very social with a lot of people on the Outerhaven, and to the point where we like to get together and we actually play video games. Well, we used to. It's just been a bit hard to play games when, you know, you don't always have the time. Plus, I get to be a big proponent of international time zones and stuff like that, if you sort of haven't noticed that one yet. Yeah. I think this is as far as I ever got to with the boss here, actually. And before we head into the temple, because I can't use this little trick again once I enter the temple. As you can see, I've got a very big assortment of bag space, but I'm one of those people who'd rather not use it if I don't have to. First. As you can see, doing this these days, I'll skip those guys because they turn friendly in a minute. I don't like killing things that I don't have to, especially in this type of run. Now I learnt with this this next area, you don't pick them all up at once because there's shamans here with totems and the last thing you want is to have to go up against totems. Because I did that last time and I ended up being stuck for nearly 10 minutes. And yeah, you don't, this isn't the type of area you really want to get stuck on, so... But we'll go over here, we'll get a karma. Very Japanese sounding names for a lot of these characters back in the day.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I know, you're gonna target them first. And I blew that up for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Didn't need to pop off the demon form there, but as you can see, I'll have a group here. They are now friendly. I have no idea how this run's gonna go. Hopefully I can get exactly what I want from this, but if not, oh well, no big deal. Just means that I will have one of those checklist things if I ever do come back to the game, which, I don't know. At this point, I don't feel inspired to come back to this game at all. Like, the game just doesn't feel like something I want to do anymore. Because I used to come on here and I would spend days just sitting here doing absolutely nothing but playing WoW from like the moment I got up to the moment I went to sleep. And I know that's what we do as gamers. We play these games ad nauseum, you know. It's a big part of what we do. But eventually you gotta hit that point in your life where it's like there's more important things to do than video games 24/7. But then again, I know I've got friends and people like that who are still very much involved in World of Warcraft to this day. They never really sort of changed out of it. I don't know whether it's something that I've just done or... Like I said, I think that this game and what it meant to me once upon a time and no longer exists. It's not the game that I want to play. It's a game I really turned into, I felt like I had to play. And when a game becomes something, something that is meant to be completely neutral or completely non-involved, becomes more like a job than anything else, then you really have to sort of look at yourself and go, is this really what I want to do with my time? You know, as much as it is a part of what I do here at the Outerhaven, gaming isn't my life. You know, I'm in the middle of, as I speak here, I'm in the middle of planning a wedding. And I'd rather make sure that I have the details for that down pat. I was sent the initial draft of the wedding ceremony itself. And when I got that, it sort of dawned on me that, you know, he is a big part of my life, but do I really need it to be that part of my life? You know, yeah, kids are probably the next big thing on the agenda. As much as I'm sure Keith would advise otherwise. But I don't know. I feel that World of Warcraft just has become that type of game that is taking up too much of my time. Like, I had days where I had times where I would spend more time playing World of Warcraft. Again, I'd jump up, I'd get out of bed, I'd come into the office, or when I had my PC in my bedroom, I'd be playing in the bedroom. And it's one of those things where I don't know. I realised how much of an addicting presence this game has had on my life. Where I would rather sit here and dedicate time to leveling another character or trying to run Mythic Plus dungeons with the guild, or, you know, just run around and do stuff like this where I go back into old content and just go, you know what, this is pretty much what I want to do. But yeah, it didn't have to be that way. I made a conscientious choice to play this game as much as I did, and I did so forsaking other duties, other parts of my life, where I'd rather be sitting at home playing World of Warcraft than going to work, or looking for a new job, or studying, or, you know, it was one of those things where I just felt that this game was my life, and just like many other parts of life, you either let it consume you, or you have that moment where you go, okay, I don't need this in my life. And that's pretty much what happened. Was I woke up when I started playing Shadowlands, and I went, hold on, I'm going back, starting this trek all over again, where I'm leveling multiple characters. But why am I leveling these characters? And it wasn't one of those things where I was happy doing it. It was one of those things where I felt I had to do it. I started dedicating all my game time to what other people wanted in the guild, and then at the same time, I found out that those exact same people that I was trying so hard to impress just weren't the type of people that I wanted to be around. And all they did every day was come online, play WoW, come online, play WoW, come online, play WoW, come online. And I'm like, no, I want to play other games. I have a bucket load of other games sitting here. You know, I have tons of other games just sitting here. So why aren't I spending more time playing those? Because I felt that if I didn't jump on World of Warcraft and play the game, then I was going to lose the respect of other people that I'd never met in my life, that at the end of the day mean nothing to me. You know, there are a couple of them who are fun to hang around with. You know, don't get me wrong, I love hanging out with a few of the guildies here, and I do miss hanging out with them. But it just turned into one of those things that, again, I wasn't doing this for me, I was doing this for other people. And the only reason why I kept the game time up was because I felt like I'd fall behind the curve if I wasn't playing every day. And once again, that's not how these things are supposed to work. This game is supposed to be about enjoyment and having fun and, you know, doing other things with your life rather than, you know, pushing a button and doing that. You know, I have all these games sitting here off to the side and behind me and everything else that I spend all this money and time on games, only to end up turning around here and going, oh well, I'm playing World of Warcraft more than anything. And you hear that in spectator mode when we do that. When we go about what are we playing this week. And 9 times out of 10, what I would say is I am playing World of Warcraft. And you would hear Keith just bemoan it and just be like, dude, no, why are you still playing that? You know, he's been clean for nearly 6 years, you know, or 4 years or whatever it was. And I'm like, I can barely stay clean from this game for 3 months. You know, I feel that probably 9.2 or 9.3, I'll probably be back playing this thing. Because the game will be something that I hopefully will enjoy. But, you know, there's always that hope. There's always that niggly little addictive part of your personality that goes, maybe what you're doing now, or maybe what you're doing tomorrow, or whatever it is gonna be there. It's gonna be ready for you. It's gonna be that thing that, you know, what's the, you know, what's this little thing that's probably gonna bring me back to the fold and get me to subscribe again for another month or something like that. You know, it's not. I shouldn't be thinking along those lines. I shouldn't be thinking about what's going to bring me back to the fold, when I understand now that the problem isn't so much the game, it's me and realizing that I need to move on. that I need to give this up. You know, I have a plethora of good memories with this game. You know, I have made some really good friends with this, and I've even had a couple of girlfriends because of this game. But it's no longer a game that I need to get that social interaction, that clarity. I just, yeah. I know this is a lot of ranting and everything, you know, you've got to provide content with what you're doing, yeah, blah blah blah. But, oops, went the wrong way. But that's just the thing, like, I'm sitting here on what is, for the time being, my final run with the game, and I'm still trying to find reasons to justify to myself that I am making the right decision, or that I am doing the right thing with what I am doing. And I shouldn't have to be thinking that way. I shouldn't have to be looking at things in the direction of, you know, am I doing the right thing? Am I, you know, because like, I don't want to turn other people off. Okay, this is another thing, is like, I feel bad for everybody who another one of the card sets. Like, I don't want to be one of those people who are like, I hate this game. I don't. I think that the problem with that is that I've actually enjoyed it for way too long. I've been playing, like I said, I've been playing this game since pretty much just before Burning Crusade came out. I was in the final throes of World of Warcraft Classic, leveling up my character, and by the time I got to 60, we were just about ready to start doing Burning Crusade content. And I still remember going out and going the midnight launch of Burning Crusade and enjoying that type of camaraderie and stories that you'd hear when, like, people got together and just really enjoyed what they were doing. You know, midnight launches of the game were huge events, at least for me personally, because I wanted to be a part of that group. That's when you get those good points of the community. They're the times where you would go and you'd be standing in line talking to somebody for hours about, you know, what did you do with Onyxia? Oh, how'd you guys go on Illidan? How did you guys go on Lich King? Oh, I can tell you this story of when I went and I did this much DPS, and we went and did this, that, and the other, and we had these guilds, and this time when the guild just, like, somebody was just messing up, or great funny moment, or something along those lines. They're the moments I'll always treasure in this game. Like, it's the special moments in the game where you could really feel the camaraderie and the community that the game originally had, before everybody started getting really needy and get locked in loots. Before everybody started having complaining and fighting, and when your gear score or your Raider IO level meant more than what you could do in a fight. You know, it's, I enjoy that.
It's too far away.
That's what I enjoyed about the game. Was when the community had a chance to come together, they actually came together and had fun. And it was all good times and memories and, you know, swapping stories, swapping strategies. Over the time, and then more and more the game became toxic in its community. Only the strong survived. Only the ones with the best gear score survived. With the best overall damage survived, or you played the right classes. None of that used to matter. Friggin' none of it. None of it used to matter at all. But as time does, it moves on. It changes how people do things, and unfortunately, and things just gave up. That's pretty much what it was. But like I said, you know, I've had good times. I've had great times with the guild. I wish that I could have my raid leader or my guild master, Mika, show up and just to shoot the shit. You know, she's a great girl. You know, an LGBT lass with a good family in Western Australia, and you know, she is one of the people who would actively turn around and say, hey, let's do this as a guild, let's try and do these things and have fun like we should be doing. Not breaking off into little groups, not pretending that we're something that we're not. It was always, let's do what we can for the group. But those days quickly disappeared, and you know, what were we left with? Oh, we're left with a guild who didn't give a rat's, and in doing so, we killed ourselves. But you know, like I keep trying to bring up the good times, you know, and that'll probably come in the next when I start the next raid, because Black Temple was very, very boring. Raid wise, it was also the start of everything where I was spending more time PvPing and doing all that type of stuff. Then, yes, I wish to test you. I also wish to burn you to the ground. Come on, I'm ready. And yeah, this is pretty much what we're up to. Like, okay, so we're about 40 minutes in, about 35, and we're up to Illidan, which is pretty much stock standard. I think I usually do this run in about 35, 40 minutes. Mainly because delay stuff like this, but oh my god, it gets worse with Burning Crusade. Not with Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, when I go in Ice Crown. Yeah, I know, you can't do this alone. Oh, magically, here comes other people. Oh look, you are not alone. You have the spirits of the old ones. Blah 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 blah. Good thing is, I do notice that a lot of my kill times for this have actually been a lot better than they have, which is awesome. Come on, hurry up. I know, RPG, roleplay game. But man, did they go long in some of these. We gotta wait for our karma to bring his ass up here so I can start the final fight. Which will probably take about 3 to 4 minutes. Oh, really?
I can't attack that target.
I should have slaughtered you in your
Blah 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 blah.
We've come to end my hope, and all shall be free.
Boldly said.
Combat starts.
I can't attack that. I can't attack that target.
4,
I can't attack that.
1.
Oh no, okay. Okay, stage 2. That was stage 2. He grabs his things. Place it on the ground. I get bored. He captures. More roleplay, which will take about another 15 seconds.
My long hunt is final. Today, justice will be done.
And he's dead.
The wardens are watching.
Without the hunt, you are nothing.
Blah, 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 blah. Hey, he's dead. Oh wow! What a way to finish it. I actually have one of the Wargraves. Oh my god. And that's the offhand. And one day I may come back just because, like, I didn't plan it or anything, but I tell you what, I gotta come back one day. I gotta get that other half. I gotta get that sword piece, and then I can have the twins. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't.
Oh, do I have a deal for you?
And no, I'm not gonna delete it. It's gonna sit on my account until I can get the other one. Which, believe it or not, will be one of those things that'll have to wait.
For real.
So we jump off this one, and I reckon we'll go to this one. This is my hunter, which was one of the first ever. It was the very first character I ever created, so I feel it would probably be best to. What's the weekly?
You are welcome here.
Savage path through time. Time walking. No, I am not doing time walking. I'm sorry, I'm not doing time walking. No.
I am out of range.
As you can see, I've got a lot more junk in this one. That's because of a lot of stuff that I had from the last run, and this character's actually been updated and everything else, so I need to go to Ice Crown. Yeah, no, it's a long way around getting it. So this is the other thing. It's a long way around to get back to old content. They actively are what I feel like they are. They're really trying to turn around and say you should not be doing this content. Like the main portal rooms are only in one particular area, and yeah, they make it hard to get back anywhere. They make it hard to go back into old content. They make it hard to have to pretty much go back and relive what you liked in this game. Actually, before I leave here, because this is going to be my last run, I'm going to change one of my talents. As much as I like Stomp, I'm going to take Barrage. And I'm going to put that. Stomp's alright when you've got. When you need your pets to take care of everything, but no. It's like I look at all these quests and it's all just time waste. It's designed to make me go and run the same raid over and over again for next to no gear. Like, looking at my character, I'm still running a lot of stuff that's under 200. And that's a lot of stuff that should not be under 200. Heading towards 9.1 content, we shouldn't be running... We shouldn't be running these types of... We shouldn't be running this type of thing where... You know, you're under-geared. You should be ready for the next content when it comes out. You shouldn't always be that underpowered and under-geared when it came to content. But no, that's the way the game works. It wants you to be under-geared. It wants you to be lesser than you were. And I personally just got sick of it. But this was one of my favourite raids back in the day.
Regardless of outcome, they will know that we fought with honor, that we fought for the freedom and safety of our people. Remember, heroes, fear is your greatest enemy in these befoul halls. Steel your heart, and your soul will shine brighter than 1,000 suns. The enemy will falter at the sight of you. They will fall as the light of righteousness envelops them.
This was my favourite raid back in the day. Definitely my favourite raid.
I swore that I would see you dead and the scourge dismantled. I'm going to finish what I started at Light's Home.
Awaken. Awaken.
The thing I loved about this raid, I don't know whether it was the ice aesthetic or what it was. I really don't know. It was just one of those. It was just one of those raids where it was just cool to do. I think it's also because this was probably one of the first real raids where I felt accomplished in what I was doing. With this one, it was one of those, like, I started with the guild that I was with, and we were playing this at the exact same point together. We weren't we weren't just sitting around doing nothing. You know, we were sitting, we were doing this everything together, and yeah, just felt like I accomplished, as opposed to just doing nothing. Sure, now it's like I got this burnt down in a few minutes, and yeah, that's the way it is. This also could be, this is where I first started raiding with probably the only online girlfriend I actually thought I had a chance with. You know, I was saving up to leave Australia and move to the US, but to be with her, but that all fell apart. But you know, things recover, and quite surprisingly, I ended up with the love of my life. So I guess thanks to her. I guess.
Thank the spirits for the brothers and sisters. The Skybreaker has already left.
This way.
Quickly now, to Orgrim's Hammer.
I was so used to playing this as an alliance instead of a horde, so I still get confused here. And yes, this character was an alliance character when I first made it. I transferred it over to horde because I didn't want to have to bother with dealing with having to level another hunter on the horde, and then having to level this character on here. Okay. I guess I did go the wrong way. Oh, that's alright. It's alright, just burn through the content. But yeah, this was pretty much the expansion where I did everything I could and had a lot of fun. Don't know what else to really say about this one. Again, I believe this was the first time I ever actually bothered buying a collector's edition as well. I didn't really do much with the collector's editions. I still have them. I still have the physical boxes. I think I even still have the discs in them somewhere. But that was because I was actually making some money then. I had a job and I was able to actually have enough money to do these type of things. But as time went on, buying those collector's editions, I stopped buying the physical stuff and started buying the digital ones as the way of the world, because frankly, why bother? Yeah, the game moved digital anyway, and as soon as it did that, well, there was no point.
What is that? Something approaching in the distance.
I remember this. Originally this was supposed to be a PvP thing where you was supposed to actually fight against the Alliance players. He didn't even get to finish his speech before I killed it all. Yeah, man. Come on, surfing.
From Karl. Without honor,
This is also the first of a few very late and boring.
My boy died at the Wrathgate, only to collect his body.
Yeah, this is sort of the more boring things. But again, it's like when I'm going through old content, I do get the memories of people and friends and everything else that I've met throughout the years. Laughed, cried, had plenty of happy times. But ultimately, it's one of those things that I think I'm ready to move on from. The game, again, as I said in my review, it doesn't feel like something I want to play anymore. So when it comes to these things, I'm more than happy to start moving on. Yeah, man.
5, 4, 3,
I remember this.
2, 1.
By the might of the Lich King.
I'll quit surfing, you old bugger. You'll be dead soon enough.
By the light, the transporter worked. Young heroes, no matter how dire the battle, I can feel them never reaching anchors, watching us.
Too far away.
That's the bag looking. Full of gear. Full of trash.
I must get closer.
Oh no, I killed Stinky.
Too far away.
Just an ordinary gas cloud. But watch out, because that's no ordinary gas cloud.
Alright. I actually think I have sets from here. I don't know what. thought I had more. Oh no, it was my paladin. It's my paladin that had the more gear set. Oh, I'm surprised that I don't have much of the stuff. Okay. Interesting to know.
Oh, Professor, you were always my favorite, next to Rotface. The good news is that you left behind so much gas. I can practically taste it.
Yeah, no. Alright, man. Like, this is just. This is dookie.
Good news, everyone.
Bad news, everyone. I don't think I'm going to make it.
Well, I suppose I can get some pieces of gear, I guess. Actually, quite surprised. So very surprised I didn't have the gear set, but shouldn't I believe? Hey, you guys go away. Oh no. They have been linked.
Foolish mortals. You thought us defeated so easily. The Sand Lane are the Lich King's immortal soldiers. Now, you shall face
Blah,
their
blah,
might
blah, 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 blah.
combined. Rise up, brothers, and destroy our enemies!
Naxanar was merely a setback. The power of my queen. They come.
Oh, thank God I get outside in a minute. Oh no, wait, I'm still a fair bit off. Eh. Hopefully it's a lot of stackable stuff.
I am out of range. Too
You
far
have
away.
made an unwise decision.
I require a target.
We were all getting along. So,
Oh, that's Tsugi. Crunch, heal.
Ready your arms, my archer brothers. The Braiku will protect the Frost Queen with their lives.
Even dying here beats spending another day collecting reagents for that madman Finkelstein.
die!
The reinforcements will arrive shortly. We must bring her down quickly.
Foolish croc! You brought my reinforcements with you! Arise, Argent Champion,
cannot
and
attack
serve the Lich King in France! You were right. I'll show Master which of us is truly worthy of the title of champion!
I'll draw her attacks. Return our brothers to their graves. Then help me bring her down.
No.
I'll remain and inform Tyrion of our progress. You must press on and bring down Sindragosa. Loktar, champions!
Yeah, thanks to a lot of people being annoyed with this particular
You've done much
problem.
in this war against the Scourge. May the light embrace you.
They made that particular boss skippable because you know, there was problems.
Must not approach the frost. Quickly, stop them.
Ah, finally. A point where I can sort of grab stuff. Time is money indeed, my friend. That's better.
Glad I could help.
have come to this place. The icy winds of
I remember so many times wiping on this boss. Phase 2 was a freaking pain in the butt. But now, I push one button. It's funny, would have killed for some of this stuff back in the day, but now it's all junk. All junk. And see, that became the other problem that I had with the game as well. Was that everything just became so useless. Like, I know a lot of people called Battle for Azeroth a loot pinata game at the time, but it really wasn't a loot pinata game. It was just one of those things where you got upgrades a lot better than what was being pushed at the time. But now, nah. Ferocity is unusable. So, yeah, it was just one of those things of... It was just boring, honestly. It was just boring. As I come to the final boss, what are my thoughts? Shadowlands has killed the game. Blizzard is no longer the company it once was. All the core members pretty much left. What has happened here has pretty much just shown that the gameplay mechanics and everything, it's all become that hardcore player base who people really didn't want to be. It really was just that thing of nobody cared. Like, look at the game now has just become boring. The game just doesn't feel or seem like it used to be. It used to be this game where you would have so much fun playing it. But now it just doesn't feel like the game it used to be. It honestly just feels crap. Honestly, it just feels boring. It's catering to the hardcore no-lifers, and as somebody who is no longer who's no longer a part of that real sort of personage, I really just felt like this game just doesn't cater to me anymore. It really doesn't. It's like the moments of like bringing down the Lich King and stuff like that has been a great thing to do, but yeah, I don't feel the thrill of going and killing a fucking vampire. You know, a vampire. Wow.
Grant me one final blessing. Give me the strength
I don't know.
to shatter these bonds.
Plus, dramatic moments like this just don't happen anymore. Like, we've been in space, we've been in the afterlife, this game has gone through that many stupid iterations that it's no longer the game that it used to be. And in doing it, it's really just become that problem. Yeah, you did. Bova takes over. And yep, that's pretty much it. We are back in
The dark times will pass.
the beginning area.
The reckoning is at hand.
And there you go, let's fix up parts of the set. It's parts of the normal set. Parts of the... this is... Yep. Suppose there's not much to do, except exit it. Oh, just under 50k. Yeah. This game is face off against gods. Used to do all sorts of fun things, man, but it's no longer the game it used to be. No longer the game it used to be. So, as promised, uninstall. All those years, it's pretty much over. I'm not really wanting to bother playing this game anymore. It's bloated, it's not the game. You know, take a look here. You know, friends just logging on a mobile device. You know, nobody's really playing the games anymore. So there you go, it's gone. I'll even do this. It's the World of Warcraft folder. World of Warcraft, there you go. World of Warcraft folder. Permanently deleted. The last few hundred megs of that. And surprisingly enough, with that, it's also the very last of the Blizzard games that I have here on my computer. That includes, you know, Warzone, I've got Cold War, all games, yeah. Resurrected, pre-purchase, ah no. Arcade collection, buy now, not can't be bothered. But, yeah, I owned quite a few. So, log out. That's gone. And remove programs. Blizzard.net, uninstall, uninstall. Yes, uninstall. Uninstalling battle.net because I don't want it, I don't play it. I am not a Call of Duty person, so there's no point in me doing it. It's gone. I'll even one more time go back into the PC E drive. This is where I put all my games and everything else. It's no longer there. One last thing I will do is I will go to off. Curse Forge, uninstall. This was how I kept all my add-ons up to date. Uninstall. So it's gone. But what is next? Is the question. Well, I have a huge Steam library of games that I can play any point in life. I've got 300 to 400 games on my PlayStation 4 that I could play at any time. But quite possibly, at least I know for the short time, I'm going to give this a go. You know, Final Fantasy Online will probably be the next thing I give a go. I believe Keith and I actually want to get this up and running and play a bit together and do the leveling experience from fresh. It's a game I haven't played. I've dabbled in it a couple of times, but never actually given it a full go. I think that, you know, Final Fantasy could be that new time filler, or it could be something that I just play on the side every now and again. I don't think I have the time anymore to dedicate to RPGs, at least MMORPGs on this level. You know, I've got the wedding to prepare for, I've got life to prepare for, I gotta find a new job, I've gotta start providing for my family, I gotta start having a family. And I think that's the first step, pretty much. I think that's just the first step in rebuilding or building a new life. Getting away from the trash and just trying something different. So, there we go. I do apologise, an hour and 25 odd minutes of your life, pretty much down the drain, watching me ramble about why I just don't play World of Warcraft anymore, and getting the game now pretty much officially out of my life. Thank you very much for sharing this moment with me, and hopefully you'll join me on the next adventure, whatever that is, you know, whether it's playing Final Fantasy or, you know, I've got all the gear to give Cyberpunk a good go. So, you know, I love Far Cry 5. I may record that. I may start Doom Eternal. I may play... Hell, I might even just become a Minecraft person. I don't know. I've got a capture card that runs on any system. I can play... I've got games from, you know, retro 8-bit and 16-bit consoles all the way through to modern age. I'm a console collector, and who knows what's going to be next, but I know Keith won't be the only one streaming. I'll be streaming over at my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/themacing2, and I'll be posting the highlights or whatever here on the Outerhaven YouTube channel. But for this time being, thank you very much for sharing this moment. I am now an ex-WoW player, WoW player in recovery, an MMO addict going into rehab. Who knows? Who knows what's next? But I'll have some fun. Goodbye.